It's Wednesday, November 27, and it's 28 days to Christmas. Education Ministry commissions 2 mobile psychosocial units costing $21 million, and Social Protection Minister says prosperity cannot be built on the backs of children, addresses child labor workshop. Welcome to InfoHub. Minister of Education, the Honorable Dr. Nicolette Henry, today commissioned 2 additional mobile psychosocial units at a cost of $21 million.
At a simple commissioning ceremony at the Education Ministry's Brickdam office, Minister Henry explained that the unit will not only provide services in Region 4, but in far-flung areas where it is most needed. She added that it is expected that the services will go beyond just providing counseling to students, but be available to teachers and parents.
I would hope to see that we go beyond students and perhaps not in the so distant future. We should be in a position to offer support if parents really need support, and teachers, because a lot of times we have parents and teachers that require some amount of psychosocial counseling and welfare support, and we're not in a good place to offer that. And so we recognize that as a deficiency in the ministry, and it's something that we are working on.
Regional Education Officer Marcia Paddy Andrews said that the mobile psychosocial unit is intended to identify and assist children with school-related problems and help to foster a greater relationship between the parent and the school which the child attends.
It is our hope that with 2 additional units being brought into operation, sufficient sensitization will be done to ensure that persons can access this service. Additionally, the communities will become au fait with the roles of the unit in the psychosocial economic development of the child.
The 2 units were commissioned at a cost of $21 million. The ministry is now equipped with 3 such units, as one was commissioned in November 2018. The focus of the unit is to increase the learner's ability to exercise control, reduce stress levels, enhance learners' resilience, enhance the use of effective coping skills, serve as a quick response to trauma, and maximize the support of family and friends. Seneca Thorne, InfoHub.
With over 152 million reported cases of child labor worldwide, Minister of Social Protection, the Honorable Amna Ali, said no country can achieve or sustain prosperity on the backs of children.
Guyana is passionately working towards the elimination of child labor by 2025, an objective of the National Child Labor Policy. On Wednesday, social workers commenced a 3-day training on child labor inspection at the Public Service Ministry. Social Protection Minister, the Honorable Amna Ali, said the exploitation of children should not be tolerated under any circumstance.
When children are exploited for the economic gains of others, everybody loses. Children lose, their family lose, the nation loses. When even one child is exploited, every one of us is diminished.
Global estimates show that 218 million children between the ages of 5 and 17 are employed. Among them, 152 million are victims of child labor, and almost half, 73 million, work under hazardous conditions. Riesel Melville is a child labor coordinator attached to the International Labour Organization. She told participants that it is time the troubling issue is addressed.
We are starting 2020, which is the new decade next year. And the SDGs, that is the Global Sustainable Development Goals, which everybody else is working towards for 2030. But for some reason, the objective of eliminating child labor has an advanced deadline of 2025 is a point to note, because it says that the global community, world leaders and workers have decided that ensuring that children can enjoy their childhood, ensuring that children are exposed to all of the positive opportunities for self-actualization and realization of their potential is something of utmost priority.
She reported that Guyana has over the last 6 years been leading in its commitment to address child labor. In 2014, Guyana was one of the original signatory countries to the ILO's regional initiative, Latin America and the Caribbean Free of Child Labor. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
Small loggers and other forestry stakeholders earlier today were taken through a thorough interactive session on budgeting and accounting. The workshop was held by the Red Plus project in collaboration with the Guyana Forestry Commission.
The workshop was held to encourage small loggers to have an accounting system in place. Further, it introduced and reintroduced participants to a simple but effective accounting system, especially now that these very loggers are being encouraged to register with the Guyana Revenue Authority under the Co-op Society Act. At the opening of the workshop, Minister of Natural Resources, the Honourable Raphael Trotman, reiterated government's stance of creating an enabling environment for the industry to thrive.
As a ministry mandated to oversee the natural resources sector, we are fully committed to not only enjoying the benefits that come from the development of our forest resources, but also to protecting the communities and building the capacity of forest operators, whether you are a small concession holder with simply a chainsaw operation or a large concession holder exporting to foreign markets.
Minister Trotman says forestry continues to be a significant contributor to Guyana's economy, both as a source of generating money for the country and providing a livelihood for all Guyanese.
85% of our total forest sector production comes from small and medium-scale operations. I should say 85%, comes from small and medium-scale operations, of which between 20 to 25% come from indigenous and forest-based communities. This is a significant change in trend from the pre-2016, when over 50% of production was coming from foreign operators and large concession holders. And this really is testament to the government's shift, that is to put forest concessions into the hands of associations.
Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
Key stakeholders have participated in a one-day radiation desktop simulation exercise aimed at ensuring Guyana is prepared to respond to radiological emergencies.
Spearheading agencies are the PAHO WHO office in Guyana, the Civil Defense Commission, and the Ministry of Public Health. The one-day exercise, which was hosted at the Health Emergency Operations Center, sought to determine the country's coordinating ability among technical agencies to respond to potential national radiation-based emergencies. Raynell Gordon, on behalf of the Public Health Minister Valda Lawrence, noted the timeliness of such an exercise.
It is through such activities that the stakeholders involved in responding to a radiological emergency will learn, continually improve, and implement a robust emergency preparedness and response plans that can better anticipate, mitigate the negative consequences of a radiological emergency. In closing, I'd like to encourage vigorous and candid discussion in response to the scripted radiological emergency scenarios. After all, those responses will impinge on and determine the effectiveness and efficiency of the country's radiation emergency plan.
In 2015, acting on advice from Jamaica, where cars from Japan found to have radiation levels above the accepted level were intercepted, a technical committee on the management of radioactive materials was formed. A drafted plan is being presented to the stakeholders. CDC's Senior Response Officer Salim October.
Today's exercise should be viewed as an opportunity to learn and make contributions to expand upon the draft plan. It is necessary to ensure that all gaps are identified and are addressed expeditiously, and that all agencies present will ensure continued collaboration.
At the simulation exercise, stakeholders examined the scope of the plan, roles and functions of key response agencies, interagency communication, guiding principles and procedures including monitoring, detection, alerting, and notification, among other things. For InfoHub, Delicia Haynes.
When we return, government donates minibus and canter truck to 2 Rupununi villages, and Guyana National Broadcasting Authority launches Citizens Monitoring Pilot Program. Details after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. 2 Rupununi villages on Sunday last received a timely donation of a minibus and canter truck from the government. The vehicles were handed over by Minister of Social Protection, the Honorable Amna Ali.
This donation was made possible through the Ministry's Sustainable Livelihood Entrepreneurship Development SLED program. Village Councillor Binani Charles, representing Moraranao Village, located in the deep South Rupununi, said the minibus will reduce transportation woes.
Thank you once again. I hope that the village will be so thankful for this bus, and I hope, according to what the minister has said, that they will be careful with this bus. The driver must be careful also, not driving it anyhow they want, not just because they didn't buy it off their pocket, but they must be caring for this bus. It is a good transportation for their purpose.
Accepting the canter truck from Minister Ali for the township of Latem and its surrounding communities was the founder and president of Guyana Hearts United Group, Norma Griffith. This, she said, will help the organization in its mission of improving people's lives.
This canter will assist the communities, not only in Latem Central, but the entire Rupununi, for those farmers who would need transportation to bring out their produce to the Latem market. So we in Latem as well can enjoy the wonderful organic produce. We don't have to purchase anything that is GMO from Brazil. We will have our own natural food here in the region.
Neola Damon, InfoHub.
The Guyana National Broadcasting Authority launches the pilot phase of its Citizens Monitoring Program.
This was disclosed by GNBA's chairman Leslie Sobers during a press conference. He said the aim is to regulate, monitor, improve and maintain the highest of standards of broadcasting in the country.
From today, and by virtue of this citizen monitoring facility, the citizens of Guyana will be able, in keeping with the Broadcasting Act, to draw to the attention of the authority the shortcomings and infractions committed by our broadcasters, and also to indicate whether, in the various broadcast operational zones, citizens are receiving unhindered access to information.
Director of the authority, Dr. Robin Deodat, said that during the pilot phase, citizens will not be previewed to all the infractions. He highlighted that they will be required to look for the most obvious infractions.
Things like obscene language, nudity where it's not supposed to be shown within a certain period of time, things like distasteful language and images. Sometimes you find, even in so-called educational programs, you have diseased limbs being left for too long at a period when children might be looking.
The pilot phase will run for 6 months, where an assessment will be carried out. The most capable citizens will be selected and undergo in-depth training. Additionally, Dr. Deodat said that all complaints will be treated with the same degree of seriousness as those reported by the authorities monitoring employees. Persons interested in volunteering can access the forms on the authority's website at www.gnba.gov.gy. GNBA will also be rolling out several other programs which forms part of their strategic plan. Isaiah Braffett for InfoHub.
Remember to take advantage of the ongoing Restaurant Week, which comes to an end on December 1. Over 20 restaurants are participating in the event and will be offering delightful dishes at reduced prices. Participating restaurants include Augman Restaurant, Antonio's Grill, New Thriving Chinese Restaurant, Grand Coastal Hotel, Sheshe and Java Coffee Bar. More information can be found on our social media pages. Before we go, here's a reminder to check our website dpi.gov.gy and Facebook and Instagram pages for reports from the government outreach to the Rupununi held over the past weekend. That's all for today. Connect with us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube. Much more news is on our website dpi.gov.gy and pop over to Instagram for the latest photo updates at DPI Guyana. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye for now.